So day 2 here, up nice and early as always. Going to be going on a bit of a day trip out to the city, seeing a couple of monasteries and churches, funnily enough, which seems like popular for this country. And then also going to be going to an old town of some description, like a old Stone Age town, I guess, possibly. I don't know completely, that's why part of the reason why I'm going. So I'll be heading down to meet up with the group in about half an hour or so. Weather today is not looking great, so we'll see how we go.
After 1 year, I think it will be 20s present. For sure, it will be impossible to check all of them. Like they are using the raft, they are putting these trees up there, and they produce. It was popular till first half of 19th century, but nowadays nobody uses.
Oh. So my first stop for the day is an old cave system called, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Uplistsikhe. So it's about 1,000 years before Christ old, and they don't really remember who actually built it. So let's go check it out.
But just because we found here a lot of bones of animals, and mostly it was the bones of dynasty. They are using Uplistsikhe, this strategic location, and they are fighting from here. They are fighting for Tbilisi because Tbilisi was ruled by the Arabs more than 300 years.
That's how it's pronounced.
So relief is the one of the best example of Roman influence in Georgia. So it comes from the antique time and ancient and antique time period. If you double check this architectural style, you will find out there is.
This is the old theatre. So a lot of it was destroyed in an earthquake back in the 20s, and now we got the view. Maybe just sort of like a little bed over here, a bit of a lie down. Oh, actually, right there. Good nap coat. It's over 3,000 years old, this place.
They are listening, and they're judging people, and they're deciding the main topics of the city life. In the upstairs, if you check in the upstairs, we have a small trace in the center.
So originally it used to be a pagan temple. So Georgia is actually the oldest Christian country in the world. Around 500 AD is when it decided.
Guys, do you have 50 banknotes, the Georgian cash, which is very typical for the whole, and because it was covered, we have small hollow inside, which provides the fresh air and light inside. This is the biggest one actually. I hope it was like for the meeting and to also on the other side. So we have the biggest trace over here. Pillar 1, 2, 3, 4. So these 4 pillars was holding the main roof, and one was other side. Also, how do you know it's the church? We have the rounded part, which is the altar. Sun comes from the east, represents the Jesus Christ, and we have the raised platform over here, right? So this is the altar.
Very old stairs, and that I believe dates back to the 6th century AD. One of the oldest Christian churches in Georgia. now for a bit of wine.
This really depends the company itself, but yeah, it's a little bit different.
Because a friend of mine said me that it's the bottle for Georgian style wine, and this shape of bottle is for European style wine.
Yeah,
I was told the same.
It can be different also, you know, it's like even we have the different wineries, even they making a little bit like a shape.
So this one here is Stalin's favourite. Had a lot of it delivered to his back home in Moscow. About 700 litres worth, he said, got delivered to the palace. This is his favourite because he was actually born in this region. Not many people know that he's actually Georgian. Yeah, so they've got some really good wines around here. Of course, Stalin's favourites that I showed, so we had a bunch of that delivered. And just look at that view. So now we're off to a secret tunnel to the exit, and then for lunch.
So, this is our secret tunnel over here, made by the not 1 millennium before Christ. What? Yeah, it can be like a 2nd, 3rd century after Christ.
Secret tunnel out. It's a lot steeper than I expected. Oh wow. So I feel like this whole area used to be completely covered as a cave. And then earthquake in 1920 sort of destroyed quite a bit of it. And then they sort of put supports into the bits that were still standing. And now here we are.
Government job is like a more, little bit official, little bit, but truly same 1,000.
So Gori is the hometown of Stalin, where he was born, and this is the museum. Yeah. Oh wow.
Oh, sure. So it's, the building is coming from 1957, 4 years after.
That's the man's hometown. It looks like, if my history is correct, Lenin, Stalin, Trotsky. If I had to take a wild guess.
Okay, good. So this is the main building. We're gonna start the tour from here.
Wow.
We have 7 big rooms. Then we go outside. All like pictures or the heads of the group or why we have this corner here is the famous Georgian poets and writer region. And this is the house where he was living. I'm not sure if this house still exists or not, but it is a maquette. So even he was participating in the First World War. He was arrested in 1941 by the German and killed by them after Stalin refused to speak to him. This is also a famous story and ended the red
This is quite an interesting place. It is recommended to come here with a guide, I've discovered, because it is pretty much fully in Russian and Georgian. It is recommended.
white and black, you can easily guess why it was used the black one. Black one used to connect the main office. Like, this is the famous German brand Siemens. I got this phone very good. If you, I don't know, it survives any place, anywhere, a small one. Even nowadays I got it. This is the exact place where Stalin was born. The same building always was here. The museum here was opened in 1937, and 2 years later, Beria was the initiator. Even Stalin was alive, he knew his museum was existed here. They made a pavilion to maintain the building inside. Why? Because the bricks are fried and unfried bricks, well known as mud brick, right?
And this here looks like Stalin's personal train carriage. Now, I wasn't allowed to take any videos inside the house, so I'm probably going to be the same here, so I'll just go and have a quick look inside. Of course, the weather has taken a turn today. Just finishing up at the Stalin Museum here. It's very interesting. Again, it's all in Russian and Georgian, so it is recommended to come here with a guide. But as long as they know what they're talking about, it's pretty fantastic. They've even got Stalin's old house and the train carriage he used to go around in because he was afraid of flying. So now we're off to a few more little stops.